right around midnight, some enhanced 850 millibar winds that go right certain Kansas, out again, that kind of and 850 dusk west of San Antonio, which is interesting. I just hope that there isn't going to be a tornado. That'd be really bad.
You look at, as a matter of fact, that same one that you're looking at, check that area around Raton too, because it looks like it was going to blow up in there.
The good thing about Saturday, even though there is that 850 millibar jet, there's not any 500 millibar winds, so that'll probably keep things at bay unless there's this time of year we usually have about 4,000 to 6,000 Cape here in San Antonio.
That whole Raton area over there, we're talking Mexico going up toward Colorado and up in that area, those winds start whipping through those canyons, starts to create an environment of its own. If you get any convection over the top of that shit, you're going to see a show. Raton never.
I just wish we could get another Cap Rock event. That's what I've been waiting for. That stuff.
Cap Rock. I got a picture from Cap Rock. I'm going to drop it.
And so Friday, Thursday, there is about 2,500 Cape over Oklahoma, so that's definitely chaseable.
How's everybody tonight?
Same shit, different day.
Finally home after 2 days on the road. Night means it's actually morning. Good morning.
Yeah, definitely interested in chasing my third.
I don't have the Cap Rock photo in this fall. It's another fall.
It's a decent setup. If I can get those 850 millibar wind placement, that will turn out to be a pretty decent event.
There's a bunch of roads flooded in my town. It's just driving around a little bit. Dude, fucking Friday, dude, holy hell. We got like 9 to 10 inches of rain today. Yikes. Anybody in here need a wireless understand? Yes. Understand, yes. You need a way? No, I'm not going to do I got it's brand new in the box. It's never been used to. I'll have to see what it is. But next time we're all in here, I'll take of it. I'll let you take a look at it. What's that? How many months for it? I'll give it up for let's say $100 less than new, even though it's still new in the box. Yeah, well, what's that gonna run? Of course, $399, maybe $400 new. I'll have to look. It might have been. I could be lying. It could have been more. What's that? I paid shipping. I don't. Like you said, I'll have to look it up and see for sure. But I don't mind shipping to you, dude. It doesn't cost me nothing. I have a Postnet here in my house, so I ship shit out all the time. Yeah, the weather station I need for my car is going to be about $5. I'll pull it out. I'll pull it out in the morning. I'll make sure that I have it out so that I can snap some pictures of it. It's in my front closet, and I have a bunch of stuff in front of it. I'm like looking for it right now. But I tell you, they all right coming in to get them to mount your car. You guys done? Well, I have one for my house. It's a very intense, and it's posted in my backyard. I could convert it to a mobile, but it's not. It wouldn't be able to withstand the heavy duty crap I'm about to put it through. Yeah. The Davis is a little bit more road ready, and it's expensive, but it will last. I'm staring right at it. I've got the Davis Spanish view, so that's gonna be the followforfollow. Yeah, I think the one that's my next storm season, I'm gonna be about upgrades in my oh shit. Yeah, it's been 2 days since I fixed the alternator on this car, and my fucking hands are still covered. Yeah, that's the Davis Road 2. That's the one I was gonna get. Oh, that one. I would like the light illuminated pretty much. Yeah, basically indestructible. That's why it's rated up to like 600 that I've ever put my. Yeah, I thought good. Look at struck by lightning. And then it fries it. Well, the chances your car getting hit by lightning are pretty slim. I mean, I've driven through hundreds of thunderstorms in that car. But I'm just saying, like I talked to a guy at Chase was up and man was struck. And it only front weather station, believe it or not. That's not good shit. Davis, I'm pretty sure if I got struck on my weather station, I just sent it to Davis, and they'd be in such shock that they probably just said, we didn't touch anyone. Yeah, and is it the warranty? It's a problem. Yeah, it's probably covered under warranty. $100 weather station completely fried. Yeah, you have to send it in the Davis for the warranty repair. But the weather station still actually smart. The wireless receiver shit. That's fine with me. Where you pass out. Yeah. Yes, Tyler. He can't spin out. What the hell? I got it out. That's the cafe down the street. They have delicious coffee. I want coffee. Well, you enjoy your coffee. Yeah. Have a good night, brother. Or good day. I'm sorry. David. Let's go to Paris. Yeah, you enjoy that. Oh, is it Paris? No, Tyler. Paris.
Ninjas in Paris. Go.
Hey, Rabbi and Adam, I followed you back.
Excellent. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, I just have a question for the room. Essentially, hurricanes are a major risk that many countries have, and some options perhaps to mitigate their effects are cloud seeding, perhaps cooling the ocean, wind shears, perhaps spraying seawater. There's the idea of dropping dry ice, deploying wind turbines, even use of microwaves. Why don't you think any of these are used at a large scale, especially with how expensive and deadly hurricanes can be?
That's I think is good because Mother Nature, no matter how much you try to manipulate it, has one. So none of those are actual options. Point to drop it down into a hurricane.
It was just like a really bad idea. Yeah, cause the winds to spread the already active particle.
And it's also would have brought them up higher. Alright, I think it's time to call my photography night with Doomsday.
Just big into smartphone. Really? Yeah. You're just like looking at the sky. You're over here fucking telling me.
You're gonna stop somewhere other than McDonald's tonight?
Well, you're like a meteorologist in comparison to that.
Yeah.
Like, meteorologist.
When did I stop at McDonald's?
Really? Or anybody do a weather forecast?
I don't know. Setting up the Tuesday.
Meteorologist. You just read the shit.
Because I was passing by a fan.
What?
Yeah, here. There's a lot. Right? I thought it was passing down.
The 5-degree guarantee used to be a thing. Weather. That guy was cool.
Just go to Kansas. I agree with that. Doesn't care what the forecast say. I want so.
But hell, we almost killed fucking storm chasers on Friday.
How?
They fucking, so we were driving down 36 trying to catch up to this lightest tornado after it passed us. Fucking Jaden Appenheim and Brian Allen jump in our lane of traffic, yelling at us to move over to the other lane when they're off the road on the shoulder. And it's like, we're legally not required to move over. You guys are not emergency vehicles.
Yeah.
They were in the grass, so we really quick. And
Zero.
Hey, I mean, at least I didn't chase you down and try to run you off the road.
Jaden did.
Oh, never mind. You and Rabbit have something in common then.
Well, he caught up to us and he was like, fucking, I couldn't see what he was doing because it was dark. We were like, yeah, stand up. Shit, pointing at us and whatnot.
Did you wave?
Fucking turned off because I don't know what the hell was going on.
You didn't one finger salute for a wave? I'll take that as a no. This is why I should be out chasing ever, because I really would.
Yeah, I get I being the one to get hurt or jump or something because no one figure salute does it right every time. Evan, you can say hello. Okay, Rabbi. In the back of my car. Where at? Walmart. Cape Girardeau. About to go sleep. So I've got to
I've got the 6250, and that's 467, and on Amazon. I'll let that go for 350. If you paid it, and even that will only cost me $6. $6 to ship it. Where are you? I'm in the Kansas City area. Yeah, it'll only cost like $6. So if you wanna go up to the 350, I'll see how much my next paycheck will be. I email this finish with the next of this. You know, we can. I'm thinking, finish with the next of this. You know, we can. I'm thinking, I'd work out a trade too if you had something I wanted. Well, I have an old computer I'm trying to get rid of. It's nothing good, but it's been sitting around the house gathering dust. You have anything up here?
But it goes without saying that our deepest sympathies are with the families of the victims. This is a tragedy. People will be looking for answers, and we're sorry that those families are experiencing that loss. Police officers nearby and was able to kill the shooter before even more people were hurt. This happened yesterday afternoon at the Outlets shopping mall just north of Dallas. The shooter was neutralized by cops. He also has been identified as a 33-year-old man who was a suspected neo-Nazi and white supremacist sympathizer based on content posted online. The old gang in the Middle East came back together. The Arab League is going to reinstate Syria into the group of 22 countries. Syria has been suspended for 12 years after an uprising within the country against its president, Bashar al-Assad. It led to a civil war that tore the country apart with widespread reports of atrocities against civilians and a total death toll of nearly 500,000 people. Russia backed Assad and the U.S. supported the uprising, but no end to the war ever came. ISIS came upon this during the conflict and took a huge swath of territory and was driven out. Despite the joint U.S. against Syria and the bomb was still in place by violence and conflicts. The United Kingdom has been king for the first time in 70 years. Archbishop Canterbury anointed King Charles III on his head, chest, and hands with holy oil yesterday. May be for thy servant Charles the sign of joy and gladness, that as king he may know the abundance of thy grace and the power of thy mercy. King Charles III and Queen Camilla were crowned during the coronation ceremony outside Westminster Abbey in London yesterday morning. The coronation comes nearly 8 months after the death of Queen Elizabeth II in September. We are witnessing trouble on the 405. Now, the Salena 405 North at before Sunset Boulevard, after the car fire that kept the right lane of the August Street off-ramp closed. And this is huge encountering they still got this going for a while. They have the room on the 5 North with the way to the Paxton at the crash in the car with the 2 left lanes. Now, one of the people stuck with pedestrians also affecting the south outside of the freeway and the north outside is back at Bedford Street. They were to park on the 5 south of Colorado Street after slow vehicle was center divider, but then drive on the 5 north at Lincoln Avenue that crashed over the right shoulder. Hey, if I'm Scotty, it's the U.S. faster. I'm Zachary Hagan. And Southland weather today at 5 cloudy, time of lows in the mid-50s. Still some clouds in the morning, then a sunny afternoon, and we'll hit the lower 70s, mid-60s for the beaches. Wind at 5 in the Antelope Valley until 3 tomorrow afternoon. Those look like that most of the week, then bump up about 10 degrees warmer next weekend. Right now, it is 60 in Irvine, 60 in Yorba Linda, 58 in Carson, 59 in Thompson Beach. We make local 5 from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Mark Ross. When we are new technicians and service champions, we always ask, would I trust this person to show up on my mother's doorstep? Leland Smith here found their service champions plumbing, heating, and AC. If a technician doesn't pass the mother's doorstep test, they'll never make it to your house. After that, they look clean and professional and have to be kind.
Oh, I fell asleep. I can do a hell of a stranger right now. Huh? Yeah, no.
They'll wear shoe covers in your home and clean up after they leave. You're going to love your service champions technician, because I flat out guarantee you, if I wouldn't send them to a mother's doorstep, I would never send them to yours. Our number is 833-787-3700. 777-7777 or find us online at servicechampions.com. Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smart, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now. This week's marketer support, Raja Chief Marketing and Communications Officer, MasterCard, talking on that. Basically, the public and public branding, the principles of measurable results of sales. The parameters that you measure are the we make them. And what you find is on investment is based on itself and schooling. As the number one audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com. If you're on the older or in need of repair and you're thinking about selling, contact Sunday Today. Sunday's real estate marketplace is a unique way to sell your home as it is fast and get the best possible price. Sunday's local real estate experts has helped over 900 families in the greater LA area move quickly and get the best possible price for their home. You can pay 0 fees to Sunday and you can close in as quick as 10 days. Go to Sunday.com/offer. 1-800-25-OFFER. Sunday's a licensed real estate broker. DRE license number 020-88298. For more information, visit the website Sunday.com/exclusive. I've been a small business person my entire adult life, and over the years, several HR issues I got nailed. I could never afford an HR person. But there's an answer. Bambi.com. And with Bambi, you get an HR person starting at just $99 per month. I thought this was too good to be true. This is real. Bambi helps you deal with your HR problems, like writing HR policies, sexual harassment training, hostile work environment, terminations. That was my problem. People complaining about other employees, all putting you and your business at risk. With Bambi, you get access to your own dedicated HR manager, by phone, email, and real-time chat. Go to Bambi.com, type in KFI under the radio drop-down when you sign up. Bambi.com, that's KFI under the radio drop-down. I want the credit green. Spelled BAM, B-E-E, that's BAM, B-E-E, that's Bambi.com. Today is Mental Health Awareness Month. The Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health is celebrating with community events in May and June. Go to takeactionlac.com to find an event near you and take action for mental health. American Vision Windows, SoCal's choice for energy-efficient windows and doors. AmericanVisionWindows.com. KFI AM 640. KFI AM 640. From the heartland of America and the gateway to the West, good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation, around the world. I'm George Nolan, business coach to Coach AM. Emerging artist number music for the first couple hours tonight, and later on tonight, we're going to heaven. Here's what's happening. Tragedy all weekend in Allen, Texas. The Dallas, Texas officials announced that 8 victims were killed in a shooting at the Allen Premium Outlets on Saturday afternoon. 7 others injured. The Allen Fire Department Chief Jonathan Boyd reported that 4 of the injured victims are stable, while 2 are in critical condition. 9 people in total have died, to include the suspected shooter. 7 at the scene. 2 who later succumbed to the injuries. A police officer who was at the outlet store was able to shoot the suspect. Very tragic. He's a 33-year-old named Mauricio Martinez Garcia of Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah, really.
2 people were killed and 10 others injured Sunday after they were struck by a vehicle while waiting at a city bus stop outside the migrant shelter in the border city of Brownsville, Texas.
I thought they weren't supposed to say the dude's name. What the fuck happened here?
and is getting medical attention at a local hospital. Some U.S. and European officials say they believe that Ukraine's planned spring offensive will pave the way for negotiations between Ukraine and Moscow by the end of the year, and that China could help bring Russia to the table. Charles R. Smith, author of Deception. Charles, how much clout does China have in this situation?
That's what's scary. It's
Well, Chinese have a considerable amount of clout with Moscow because obviously it's the trade they're currently engaged in. However, I don't think that the Chinese are actually all that anxious for the Russians
these experiences that we have that
go into
seems
negotiations
very, very
other than make things look pretty.
That's tight. You did one. I just don't know.
Obviously, you've been reading about pullback of groups.
I always get these two things: there's astral projection and
but at the same time,
other thing.
the Russian China was supplying the Russians.
Well, how many friends do you have? How many did you with?
So, yes and no, they drag on.
You'd think there'd be a thing.
2014,
I mean,
does not expect the show to end anytime soon. All right, Charles, thank you for the update. Charles R. Smith. 17-year-old Virginia boy has died when a sand dune collapsed at Cape Hatteras National Seashore in North Carolina, burying him under several feet of sand inside a hole that had been dug. The Rangers responded around 2 p.m. to a 911 call about a teenager trapped in a hole near the off-road vehicle ramp. Family and friends had been looking for the teenager when they found him buried in the hole. The elements in these experiments have led scientists to ponder whether they reveal a flow of consciousness that persists even after the heart has stopped beating. A groundbreaking study published by the Proceedings of Science provides some preliminary evidence of increased brain activity associated with consciousness in the moments leading up to death. Here to talk with us more is Sandra Champlain, of course, who has a Shades of the Afterlife on the Paranormal Podcast Network. It's an incredible study, Sandra. We think it's some really cool news. I think many of us have heard of the different kinds of brainwaves or delta waves, slow waves,
more money than lost the air. Companies never made a profit. That's right.
Medicaid, and you and I right now in the listeners on the Otis State for a ride away.
How does it play? How does it work? It seems like a new math, doesn't it? It does. I mean, it's someone who's been waiting about it. It's amazing.
When our senses are feeling like we're connected
You know,
with
we lost
every
12 billion last year with the wind burst. Series of Doonesbury cartoons about this. This is not a new phenomenon. We are famously unprofitable company, and we're investing in the future. It's not, which isn't unusual. Companies have done this before. What's a little surprising about Amazon.com is the scale which we're doing it. We're doing it big. They just keep reinvesting. Now, here's a, are you creating a huge mess every time you roll? This is the roll the show. You grab the sheet here, hold it, and then twist the end.
and after being removed from life support, these patients should maintain and partner
Now you made
a
it.
company
Bill,
called
stop me.
two-thirds in its gamma
You
wave
see? Now nothing
activity
gets spilled
to
out of
get
the phone.
that
With even talking
that
to
our
like
consciousness
2010.
does
In a hot tub,
provide
shout out
us.
with, man.
Now, intensive care doctor and associate professor of critical care medicine,
just use their phone, dog.
That's like, but the issue's like,
I bought. I would go in and be like, I want that whole box. Really? Yeah, dog. And then I could put over like a tube. There's a hot dog. Right on the fucking border. I remember that.
Because you know our bodies will die, yes, they do. But who we really are, our consciousness, that survives physical death. Thank you for letting me say that, George. Thank you, Sandra. Give us a quick update on your podcast, Shades of the Afterlife. Oh, very exciting.
Yo, dog. You had a piss? Well, you pissed in your bottle.
On Friday about this very topic.
Fuck is this one? Yo, dog. You're having a fit?
iHeartRadio app and just go to the Paranormal Podcast Network or just go to our all the information is there at the top. In a moment, Matthew Alper back with us on Coast to Coast, his book, The God Part of the Brain. We're going to hear what he has to say next on Coast to Coast Day. There's no sign of identity theft slowing down, and why should it? More than $14 billion were stolen from identity theft victims last year alone. To cyber criminals, it's a success story. For the rest of us, it's a wake-up call. Your personal info is in more places now than ever, and all that exposure can make it dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock Crime Monitoring makes it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats you couldn't miss on your own. If you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist will be dedicated to your case and work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions and all businesses, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year by calling 1-800-LifeLock or to go to likeforlike.com and use promo code George. That's promo code George to save up to 25% off your first year. 1-800-LifeLock or likeforlike.com. Promo code George. Looking to switch to the most trusted wireless brand? Choose Consumer Cellular. They've been offering superior nationwide coverage for over 27 years. Switch today and save up to half on your wireless bill. They offer unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at just $20 a month. Their award-winning customer support team makes switching easy. You can keep your phone and number, and activation is free. Plus, you can add a family member to your plan for just $15 a month. Never worry about dropped calls because Consumer Cellular has the exact same coverage as the major carriers, with coverage to over 99% of the nation. This is all backed by a 100% risk-free guarantee. Also, with Consumer Cellular, you can save up to $250 a year. Go to consumercellular.com/Rory, and for a limited time, get $25 off your wireless bill when you use promo code Rory. That's consumercellular.com/Rory, and use promo code Rory for $25 off. And welcome back to Coast. George Showing with you. Matthew Alper back with us. Attended Vassar College in North London University, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. He has worked as a history teacher in the Brooklyn Project, a tutor in the Philippines, an electrician in England, produced a screenwriter in Germany. He has returned to New York City to write what is considered to be his life's work, The God Part of the Brain, which he has been on Coast to Coast talking about before, but we'll find out today. Matthew, welcome back. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this. How have you been? Well, hanging in there. Part of the brain. Still people are talking about this work. Absolutely. It's actually evolved into a science that there's only no ideology that you can now major in certain universities like Columbia, for instance, where there's now
You're cool, yeah. But we'll just get you high all the time. Just drink less. I can smell it. It's really Yo, dog. Remember when your arm hurt here and I hate you? And this thing went down? No. Yesterday, and this thing went down? Are you done? Hey, dog.
So much time, understandably, focused on the mRNA vaccines technologies. That's what I'm thinking about.
God, I can't any of these people. You know what one I fucking really like is that Jimmy Carter's daughter. She just climb trees and shut the fuck up. Yo, dog. Are you done? You just want to fucking say, I don't think you can touch it for things sports. Really, yeah, Needs to be the Wall Street, baby. Dude, you seen it? Seen it? Yo, dog, when's your thing? You gotta win some money. Yo, when is it? What the fuck is set? CET. You put fucking Tokyo in there? What time is 18 Tokyo? Yo, dog. God damn it. Why is it this is like a really easy fucking thing? Okay. 18. What in the fuck? There you go. 2 a.m.? Dude, Songs of Eden, the way that you do this, you shouldn't do like Australia, Tokyo, CET. What the fuck is CET? Essentially 9 hours ahead. So, I think that's 2 a.m. or something. Yo, COVID-23, the Jordan, you heard it here first. If you ever hear the fucking term COVID-23, I invented it. I call it Jordan. Every time I hear it on the radio, I do like COVID-23. It's like the Jordan. Really? Oh, it's fun as fuck. I'll probably be dead before then. Definitely not from that fucking thing. No, just like starvation. Hydration. Or no, put it forward. Don't even care. Yo, dog, you have 1,500 people on. So much. Yo, like clips recently? Yo, dog. Yo. Yo, Jack, Yo. Gotcha, bitch. Alright, are you done? Oh my Christ. Next. What's next? I don't know. I just feel like saying it. Music and chill. It's so rich. Yo, is there any more food? Those plates have been fucking MVPs. Other nights with Galaxian. Fuck is this?
Let's say if so what I like should producer what's his guys. Yeah, so basically these are the ones okay. These are the same fucking guys. So what's the so let me finish the thing is that what do they do? How do they look like in this application? For me as the correct. So they have this number and I as a great
Been there. What's AVAX? AVAX hesitancy. What the fuck is that? No, I don't call it that. I call it what we used to do, which is just wait 8.1 years or whatever. What do you call that? I don't know. What's the opposite? I'm pro scientific method. I don't even know what fucking world I live in anymore. Yo, dog. Crypto. Dude, steal one of these fucking things. I don't think you can. Let's see. What's it called? Postman or anything else? I guess you coming up with terms. That's a good thing. It's a cool name. Post. What if it's just post orthodox? Dick? What about the video orthodox? Damn it. So what would it be? Po. Post modern orthodox. So it'd be post po pomatus. Pomatus. Okay, that's cool if you're making up words. No one's gonna ever want to be postmodern orthodox. Fuck is that? Okay. It's what I am. Why? Well, it's where we focus on the future and not all this old shit. Why doesn't he have to attend a rape trial? Why are people, I don't know, if there's a trial, okay, if you're arrested for rape, I don't know. Like if some chick says that person raped me, at what time, this is a good question. If you say to someone, this person raped me, how much time has to go by between the fact when the police will arrest you and you get to fucking be president? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know, because that fucking new law or whatever, maybe. Choose your own adventure. Do you turn that on? Hell yeah, baby.
I have it in my bag and it causes like 72-degree curvature on my spine.
I'll give you 72-degree curvature, bro.
And it hit me right dab in the middle of my.
Fuck is that?
And it's swollen up. So it's swollen up like 4 or 5 times the size of what
Josh. I'm here, baby.
No, I didn't get it tested. You need to because they made some other digital channels when your priority is driving reach. Boy, everybody seems to listen to the radio. So you need to follow. Watch. You need to follow. Yeah, I'm not doing a follow up. Like, many doctor's appointments. I don't want to go to the doctor. Okay, it went back to normal. It's fine now. I'm good.
Now it's only like 11 minutes.
Gary, this what you're mean. It's actually been, what, 2023? It's actually been since like early 2019. Okay, so you missed 2020, 2021, 2022, and now we're in 2023. You're supposed to go annually. Annually is 365
365. Sometimes 366. That's a lot more than 365, 366. You need to go to some people for a follow-up.
I'm gonna go to the doctor.
Are you crossing your hands right now and stamping your feet?
Not really help the situation. You gotta kind of call your mom. I just say things like that, bro. I'm good for you. That was really nice. That was really nice.
Calling his mom.
My mom already knows I have this.
One of them.
Both of them know. Oh, you told her. I literally went to see them like yesterday, for like an hour and a half before the tornado came. Awesome. That was a tornado involved. Well, yesterday, yeah, there was a tornado last night. Like we're playing one of the tornadoes this year. I feel like we're playing one of the utility codes fucking music.
No kidding. And back to you, Sam.
We went all the way through all of that, and then now this tornado. Like, there's been 3 of them this season. Anyway, have y'all been this guy? This guy's like been like running.
I'm sorry. Are we just segueing to somebody else right now? Oh, are we pivoting?
It's fucking dumb. And he runs a live stream that he hasn't turned on for like, I don't know, like 2 years or something like that.
That's absolutely right, Sam the Cat. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am Rabbi Rothschild. I stream my life online like a real life Truman Show or real life Big Brother. I've been doing so for approximately 2 years. Sam, you are great. You got your facts down. I do it not just on one stream, not just on 2, not just 3, not just 4, not just 5, but at least 6 different streams at any given time, all on YouTube. That's just on YouTube. I'm also live on 7 different Instagrams. I'm live on Discord. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on Facebook. Basically, if it's a platform out there, I utilize it to the best of my ability. I have over 1,000 TikTok accounts and really more content online than any person in global history. I stream my life for world peace because I don't want war anymore. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Can I come on your show?
Absolutely. You're on it right now, baby. Pleasure to meet you as well. Some of the things that we discuss on it, in addition to politics and religion and such, really some interesting things when it comes to futurology, transhumanism, mind uploading. If you're not familiar with mind uploading it's essentially a type of hypothetical technology, currently hypothetical, where you can scan someone's brain and essentially download it or upload that information to a database and download it at another time to a cyborg, a cybernetic being, an avatar, a clone of yourself, an ethereal being, really anything that your heart desires, which essentially allows us to have save points in our lives. And this is technology that is just around the corner. Essentially, we have life extension technology currently that perhaps may allow the average life span to go hundreds of years. And then from there, we eventually get to mind uploading and perhaps immortality, which are some really interesting things. It's a wonderful time to be alive.
I just realized you guys that was talking about showing everyone before you shower.
That's exactly right. I have no fear. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I absolutely do. Really, I don't really have any fears, at least when it comes to social fears. Essentially, I've never done anything in my past to harm anyone in such a significant way that I feel that they're going to stab me in the back. I don't have any skeletons in my closet. I've only treated women with respect, had really some really great relationships, and never cheated on anyone. And when you live your life in a generally a truthful manner, you can kind of live very freely. And essentially, I know everyone showers, I know everybody bathes, I know everybody eats, sleeps, laughs, cries. And I think it's important for humanity to see that. And eventually, I think AI is going to need a human model on which to build its foundational databases. And perhaps I may have the world's largest collection of raw, uncut footage in the history of mankind that's been uploaded to the internet. And I look forward to a day, perhaps, when I may be featured in that.
Some sort of judgmental trait.
I exactly. Absolutely. On 6 different streams. Say hello. Absolutely. Your avatars are currently on YouTube. I do. So I have streamed as far north as Santa Barbara, as far south as San Diego. I have video from Beverly Hills and Santa Monica and Long Beach, Los Angeles, of course, all over Orange County, Disneyland, and at my home in Irvine, California. Absolutely. I think that may be very important for people in future generations to have that much to have a huge amount, 2 years of content of someone sleeping, to be able to study sleep patterns and circadian rhythms.
So how long did it take you before you started making enough money to be able to do this without having to do anything else?
Great question. I had a 6-figure position in software engineering prior to this for a Fortune 500. I was able to save up. So I would say several years. And really, I think perhaps with, if you know anything about data, it's the world's #1 resource. So essentially, I think this data may be very valuable in the future and may provide benefits financially that really I can't even calculate at this point.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Well, for the rest of my life, I'd like to. So essentially, as connectivity improves, the quality of the streams will improve. I'll be able to have more of them, perhaps. Additionally, really the only thing that I think might stop me from doing it is perhaps if I found a spouse or had children. It may be considered invasive to their lives, but at least as a single man, I am really the first person to upload all of this data to YouTube and Instagram, etc., for it to be studied. It's essentially a human zoo, and I think that people, once the word gets out about it, they will connect with me. Essentially, knowing that at any part of their day, they can check in and see how someone is doing and see what they're doing. It's quite an interesting premise. And while people have live streamed their lives, it's not archived. This is the first one ever that has been archived in such a degree. The first person to really live stream their life and actually capitalize on it was the founder of Twitch. Essentially, he did this around 2008, but it wasn't archived in the same manner. Mine is archived so that we can go back as a civilization and watch from really the end of the pandemic through essentially the death of a queen, the birth of AI, the coronation of a king, and everything in between. It is essentially the world's largest time capsule. And certainly, I do eat and sleep and do all the normal things that humans do in life. But additionally, we watched the major documentaries that have ever been published in the history of mankind. We've read all the major books, including Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, the Bible, the Quran. Additionally, we have ensured that we watched all the major movies, and in fact watched all the Oscar nominees this year, and have just gone through to really give humanity the most comprehensive media collection in global history. Thank you so much. I do as well. And that was actually my original motivation. The first videos that I ever had, essentially, I was videoing my golf swing in order to just improve my golf swing at the driving range. I was a member of Tiger Woods' golf course here in California. And one day I realized that what I was saying as I was hitting golf balls was pretty funny. I had some funny shtick. And essentially, I realized that maybe I didn't want to stop the video and see what it was like on my drive home. As I got home, I realized, you know what? There's just something really valuable in this. Maybe I should start up a YouTube channel, and eventually just did that later that night and realized that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it in the biggest way possible. And I didn't just want to capture myself in one angle. I wanted to capture myself in 360 degrees. So I quickly bought at least 4 different Chromebooks and to add to my collection so that someone can literally watch me in 360 degrees from my face, from behind, and from the right and left of myself, and then also on the ceiling. And then I have yet another computer that features my computer desktop, so you can see absolutely everything that I'm doing on the computer. Really, I think that it's important for people to be able to see that many of the characteristics that they have in their own life are emulated by others in society, and really look forward to a day, and it's not too long, where AI can essentially take 24 hours of my life and edit it into a highlight reel and easily publish it as a YouTube short, so that people don't necessarily need to watch 24 hours of someone's life, perhaps that doesn't have as much content as they'd like. They'd be able to get a much more digestible snippet. And really, when you are someone who is all content as I am, and not necessarily wanting to spend all their time editing, you would realize that that day is not too far in the distant future, where essentially AI will be able to make really interesting content from just the bulk amount of media that I've placed on the internet.
How do you like store everything? Do you have stuff in the cloud, or do you have like hard drives that you have to continually purchase?
This is a really great question. So when I first started, I was using SD cards, and then I went to 10 terabytes stored of data of just pure video. And I have an entire bag full, like a large Ziploc bag full of SD cards, yet to have uploaded to the internet. So those are some archives that I have. And then the other ways that these are stored are on the YouTube servers. So certainly I have perhaps petabytes worth of data on the YouTube servers, but then I also have quite a large amount on Instagram servers, on Facebook servers, and then additionally on Snapchat as well. What I've done is I have, if you're familiar, at least on Android devices, they're more common, but they're also available on iOS devices, auto clickers. So essentially, it's a type of software that will auto click portions of a phone for you. And essentially, what I've done is set these up on Instagram so that they automatically upload every hour to of my life to the Instagram clouds, and I don't even have to touch them. So every hour that goes by, at least 7 different angles of my life are uploaded to Instagram. So you can go to my Instagram accounts and literally watch, going back months and months and years, essentially every hour of my life on a different angle of Instagram. So I've done my best to be as non-cancelable as possible. I realize that essentially many times celebrities and politicians can get canceled because of something they say or something they do. And so I wanted to make sure that I diversified myself so that if at least one of the platforms wasn't keen on what I had to say, that I wasn't completely cancelable. And that has made me really have to create over 100 YouTube accounts, over 100 Instagram accounts, 100 Twitch accounts, 100 Snapchat accounts, and over 1,000 TikTok accounts. So if I do get banned on one of the platforms, I have confidence that the other platforms will essentially still be able to feature my work. You're definitely right. That's correct. Essentially, when it comes to YouTube accounts, to give you a perspective, I have 10 times more YouTube content than Mr. Beast and PewDiePie combined. So there's only one YouTube channel that has more hours uploaded than I do. So it's known as T Series. It's the largest YouTube channel in existence, but that is essentially all of the media of India. So in relation, how much content have I put out there as one person? About the same amount as all of India has, and that's all of Bollywood and the music videos, and that's millions of people. So essentially, I've done my best to essentially give the biggest YouTube accounts a run for their money. There may be questions like, well, why hasn't it caught on? Essentially, I don't have the best internet connection. I did, but it has been throttled when you live stream your life this much. Essentially, your ISP, realizes that something is going on. So it is sometimes difficult to maintain audiences, but I do have a dedicated following of about 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's just one of my YouTube accounts. I have another YouTube account with over 1,000 subscribers. So people do check in during their day, but really where I found a lot of positivity is on Twitter Spaces, and just over the course of the past month or so, I've gained about 1,500 organic real followers, and really I look to capitalize on that. And really, I don't do this. Sure, it's a time capsule for my children and for perhaps the world, but really the main goal is world peace. I want to give people a platform to discuss world peace. If you remember, perhaps, or if you know anything about history, there were major peace movements that were made around the world, particularly in the 1960s. And those are no longer really discussed, or at least they're no longer relevant. And I want to make them relevant again. I don't think that any country has permission or the ability to invade another country. I don't think as well that anybody has the permission or the right to put their hands on anyone else. And it's basically, I'll treat you the way that you want to be treated is kind of the golden rule in society. And I'd like to see countries do that. I really also would like to see the United Nations perhaps focus on what perhaps they're there for, which is world peace, but also to help to curb world hunger. There's some technologies that we're not using that I feel like we could utilize, such as cloud seeding, such as vertical farming, such as hydroponics, to help solve some of those issues in the developing world. And then additionally, to end world thirst, there are life straws that can be used in water, and also desalinization plants, essentially taking water from the ocean, moving it through a desalinization plant to create clean drinking water. I will never believe politicians and leaders when they tell us that there is a drought in anywhere on earth that isn't solvable in the modern world. If you say there's a drought, I say that we're not investing in desalinization enough. We have cloud seeding as well that can perhaps end some of these problems. And really, I am just doing what I can to promote good ideas. When it comes to, many times people say, at least in the case of desalinization, it uses a lot of energy, and that well may be. There's nuclear energy, there's clean nuclear energy that we could be utilizing, but also there are types of technology such as tidal power that we aren't utilizing. So essentially, tidal power is the same idea that you have wind power, but just take wind turbine, put it in the ocean. When you use tidal power, it has much more force than wind turbines do. And essentially, I think throughout every coast in the entire world, we could put tidal turbines and essentially solve a lot of our energy issues.
No, I completely agree.
So I say it's between 666 and 700 essentially. So the next major uh, highlight will be about 700. I also, it really very much well could be more than that, because I do have some video, as I have said, on um, actually a lot of video on hard drives. So essentially, I started this around the summer of 2021, and again, I was just videoing my drive. Uh, at the driving range and thought, you know what, maybe one day I may have kids and they may find this interesting to see what their dad was like as a young single man. And really, from there, it's just kind of blossomed. I was inspired by the movie The Truman Show. Of course, in that movie, he did not, Jim Carrey's character did not do so. He didn't consent to that. And so I feel I have much more power in this. I can consent to this. I can always shut the cameras off whenever I want. But really, my issue is never really shutting them off. It's always ensuring that they are on. I've learned a lot about technology through this, particularly how essentially we could have a lot more interaction between apps. Essentially, apps crash. We have broadband capabilities that are lackluster. And so once this becomes big, I will really call on CEOs of technology companies to improve their software. Essentially, there are a lot of, I think, improvements that I've learned, and I could give them a lot of certain insightful insights on how these things could be improved. One other thing I'd like to say is I'm really a major advocate for women, particularly on the internet and in technology. And I say that as someone who streams their life online, and I've run into many issues when it comes to nudity, as you may understand, because you're not always allowed to be nude on certain platforms, and it really varies. On Twitter, Twitter's one of the more uh, open, I would say, and free speech areas where you can. It may put a warning on there, but if you do it on YouTube, just depending on the context, you'll get your channel banned. And so when I say for women, women use social media to generate income. However, it is unfair and absolutely de facto discrimination, in my opinion, that I, as a man, can have my shirt off on my YouTube stream, but if I were a girl, I could not. I would get my entire account taken down. The same is true on Instagram. If I'm a man, I can be at the beach with my shirt off. But if I'm a woman, I cannot, and I'll lose my account. To me, it's de facto discrimination. And so when the stream gets big, I am going to go after people in technology because they are discriminating against women. And I don't think they realize it, but really they're discriminating against skin. And in the same way that we had a civil rights movement because people discriminated against skin, there's also a really a discrimination against skin when it comes to the areola in particular, but also genitalia. But really, at this point, I think that people should be able to be shirtless and it not offend anyone. I don't think you should be able to discriminate based on skin anymore. So I would say I'm certainly an advocate for women in many different ways, but particularly on the internet. And I can't believe that these technology companies, it's taken them so long to even start to allow women to even breastfeed on social media posts. I mean, that is seen as very scandalous. In my opinion, it's discrimination. It's de facto. If you are taking down someone's account because of their genitals, based on what your interpretation of whether they should act like a man or a woman, I feel that there's an issue with that, and I'm standing up for women. I'm in agreement with you. I do my best to live an Orthodox Jewish life online as best you can, but I do have some very progressive ideas, at least when it comes to how we treat each other. One in particular, and this is not certainly just a Jewish ideal, this is really a global issue, is the idea of genital mutilation. I am against genital mutilation in all its forms. If you want to be an adult person or someone of let's just say of adult age, and you want to mutilate your genitalia, that's up to you. But I don't feel we should do this to children. And so, at least when it comes to circumcision, I I'm circumcised. I had a bris, but I would like to stop that in the future. Essentially, if you want to circumcise or be circumcised, that's absolutely fine, but I think that's an adult decision. Same with female genital mutilation. That's usually forced upon women many times on different continents. And those women don't have a voice. Basically, I am someone who doesn't think, at least as men and women as well, well, we shouldn't cut off our genitalia for any reason, or we shouldn't destroy our genitalia until you can do that in your own way as an adult. But we shouldn't make those decisions for minors. Now, as someone who is circumcised and has had a bris, there are certain futuristic technologies that should give us hope as men if you are circumcised as well, such as stem cells. There is technology out there to create to regrow stem cells as a man for your foreskin, and additionally, using human growth hormone, you can have a longer appendage as well. People don't know this, but also you can add the to the amount of sensory nerve endings in your genitalia as well. Why would I want to do this? Space has ended. They were cool though. I feel like a politician, bro. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I should be like, let's see this. Is this going in the hole? Where are you? If this is a T, it's not mowed well enough. No, it's got to be a fairway. But it doesn't even look like a fucking fairway. Did this go in the hole? Are you just happy about your drive? I mean, it's nice. No, this is a T. It's a T box. I can't see where that fucking ball is going. They need to make a thing so you can see it. It's white on white clouds. People, be like your old fucking Rothschild. Use fucking orange balls or something so you can. I use it because I can see them. But or bright yellow. This shit is bullshit. You want to know how he did it with the shoes, dude? Everybody's seen that like 1,000 times. He like had that shoe that's invented. Yo, dog. This guy. Outlet mall at fucking, what do you call it? Michigan City outlets? What are those called? I think it's just the outlets. When I was a kid, I used to think outlets were like really nice. Really? Oh, Lighthouse Place. How the fuck did it know? That was weird. When you type in Michigan City, that's the first thing that comes up. If you just type in Michigan City, no, it's like it hurt me. No, and then it doesn't come up anymore. That's weird. Did you fucking see that shit? Anyway. I liked how you were like, meh, 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 meh. Well, you're starting to get known. Oh, this is that motherfucker who lit Truman Show. Really? Yeah. Somebody knew me, dude. That's tight. Colin show. Oh, dog. 67 is good. Rabbi Rothschild. Thank you so much. I'm Rabbi Rothschild. I am Guinness World Record holder for most amount of hours live streamed on YouTube. I've been doing so for about 2 years now, more than 666 days. I do so for world peace. I want an end to war. You got that right, baby. You're live on 6 different YouTubes as we speak. You got that right. What do you want to say to the world? That's amazing. Nice to meet you as well. So you giving Wilt Chamberlain and Genghis Khan a run for their money? That, that's amazing. Well, what a privilege to have a billionaire contact you to repopulate the earth. That's amazing. So what are you going to do when we have all these little ones of you running around? What are you going to do? I understand. Try to go off world because you'll have all these kids chasing you. They're going to be asking you for lunch money. They're going to ask you for college tuition. You're not going to have time for that. You're going to be slinging dick. I understand, but people are going to want to know who their daddy is. And when they find out it's you, you might have to do that 30 seconds to Mars and help terraform Mars with Elon Musk so you can get some sleep. Thank you. You crazy boy. This guy's great. I love it. That's great. Yeah. Crazy people. There's 8 more. Does he have a show? What big time you say, Tyler? Whatever you want to be, baby. How you living, Logan? Well, how are you, Alicia?
It's 11:11 right now, bro. 11:11.
Kiss the clock, baby. Exactly. I'm probably 11 minutes away on the 405. What's new in your neck of the woods? Word. I have been using ChatGPT as well. Not using it to make money, but just using it to solve the world's problems. I find though it's not as useful as it was months ago, and it is progressively degrading, I guess, or essentially the types of answers that I used to get out of it are not as beneficial. I really have to work and pull. It's like pulling teeth now to get some interesting answers. Have you found similar results?
No, I don't. Know what you mean. I think maybe you have to get it more specific with maybe, yeah.
Well, I mean, I would ask it, I guess, on controversial subjects, and I think it's gotten better at hiding some of the answers. So I could be incorrect as well. Many times it says that it's not, um, like those types of like even with like I'll ask it questions about how to prevent tornadoes. Ask it questions about how to prevent tornadoes, and it'll say like there are no current useful technologies and how to prevent tornadoes. So essentially, then I'll have to like look up a little research, and you can use like wind turbines, you can use large fans, you can use explosives, you can use cloud seeding perhaps to lessen the storm. So there are some ways, and but yet it'll answer that exact question much better for hurricanes. So I just find that I don't know, maybe some of the answers that I previously would have gotten aren't as good, but I definitely could be wrong as well. Or it could just be I'm not answering it like you're saying in the correct way. I've just found that when you go to jailbreakchat.com, it does have those up to date like how beneficial the prompts are, and I find that prompts are having to get more and more complicated, which tells me ChatGPT is getting better and better at blocking some information. How do you use it to make money?
Just asking. How can I use you to make some money?
I personally, at least today, well, just recently, I'd say in the past like 3 days, I've gotten over 100 new Twitter followers, which for a small account like mine is good, especially organically. I've just been like, it's hard. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I guess I live my life online, and generally, I think my friends would probably say I'm somewhat of an extrovert, but deep down, I'm an introvert. I just like being by myself, and I don't necessarily always like interacting with people. But I've said, if I'm really going to get this stream to get big, I need to introduce myself to, random rooms and tell them about my story and things. And I've gotten a lot of really great feedback recently. And so I've been going into rooms the past few days, and especially like random rooms, like NFT rooms where they just have like a community there. I'll introduce my so I'm excited about that. Do you ever just randomly go into rooms, not necessarily just listen, but like introduce yourself and really jump in, you know, feet first, essentially?
No, I never do that. No, I should. Definitely should do that. Because it's, really the only reason I would do that is for, to kind of, let's say, like, I know it's the word is like, I guess like put yourself out there, but like that's not really the point to, I don't know, it's gonna be great. But yeah, not enough info, but there's water. But just make money, or not make money, but like I'm getting followers, right?
Definitely. I mean, I'm finding that like I just came out of a room, and by the way, I misspoke. I meant to say head first, jumping at head first. I just came. Just I'll go into random rooms though, and people will be like, "Hey, this is the Truman Show guy. Bring him up to speak." That's really exciting to me when like I just have to go into a room and people are starting to know who I am. I did have another account that I had like for many years that was at Rabbi Rothschild. It's like a very simple one. It had over 10,000 followers, and none of which were real, all of which were purchased. And I don't honestly believe like if you have 50,000 followers, in my opinion, that doesn't happen organically. If you have like 10 million followers, that definitely doesn't happen organically. The biggest accounts, I mean, you're someone who hosts a show every single day, and I know other people who host shows every single day, big time shows with lots of people in them, sometimes hundreds of people in them, and they only have like 5 or 6 thousand followers. I really think those are all organic, real people. And in my opinion, there are only about 10,000 people, which is still a lot, on Twitter Spaces regularly who interact, and those are the ones that you really want. I know that with my other account, I had like 10.1 thousand followers. It cost me like $100 to buy the followers. And unfortunately, what happened over a year ago, I don't know how, but somebody got into my account and tweeted a whole bunch of crypto stuff. Of all the things that they were going to tweet, that's not a bad thing. So I had to contact Twitter, ask for my account back. They gave it back to me, but they got rid of all of my followers. So I'm just, I'm who cares? It's like 10,000 followers. I could easily get that back by just purchasing them. But really, that doesn't do anything for you. It's about organic people. And it's exciting to me when I start walking into rooms virtually or and such. People know who I am, they know my story, and they're excited about it. So I think that's really cool. And if you do ever have the opportunity, oh, thank you. If you do ever have the opportunity, it's an interesting experiment to just basically jump in and try to network as like as well as you can. I'm not saying that you have to necessarily shill yourself, but essentially sell yourself to the room and then go into another room and just keep doing it and see how many followers you can get. In my opinion, you can get hundreds a day, or at least I've gotten about 100 a day. And but even more than that, just having people have awareness of what you're doing is very exciting. To me, it could be any day that my stream could go viral, and that's very exciting because once it does, Logan, you're not going to have to look up ways to make money anymore. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of Mars. I'm going to take care of the woman and Alicia and all the other. I'm going to take care of Sally Rogers and all our friends, Taylor, everybody. We're all going to be billionaires and then trillionaires.
Then I can just convert and like cook whatever foods I want to cook.
Absolutely.
Send it in my yard.
You're definitely right. People would probably want to watch you do that. So you might, you might have to contemplate because they're going to want to watch you do art and perhaps cook. So you might even have like your own YouTube stream or something. I know because, well, I say this, I know, but I mean, essentially, like anybody who's on my stream is going to, in their own way, be a little bit of a celebrity themselves, and they'll have their own followings. And I'm sure people are going to want to see what you do. Mars, what kind of art do you do?
Like trying new things, I guess. Like a futuristic kind of cyberpunk sort of city. I drew on some like wood slices to make them into monster guy. Doodled on my bow and tattoo or gem tattoo. I sew, I crochet, I've done knitting a little bit. I worked with clay. I've done like a little bit of stop motion animation. I like art and creative things. I've done some music. So yeah, I just sort of whatever tools I can get my hands on them and then mess around.
You sound like a very well-rounded artist. I think those types of characteristics will, believe it or not, be much more valuable in the future. I think with society moving in the way that we're moving, where AI is replacing a lot of people's jobs, I think eventually, pretty quickly, we'll all be on universal basic income, unless you're really highly, you're in a field that's in high demand, some kind of software engineering. Not to say that some of us aren't. I mean, I know Logan is, I am as well, but I think perhaps we might, if things go according to plan, we may be super rich, as everyone in this room will, but not everyone may have that opportunity. And I think that artists are people who will be able to create new content that has a human touch. And I think that will have value in the future, not so much AI generated art. Not to say that that isn't amazing, and I think it is amazing. But when people are buying art, I don't think they're going to want something that a computer made. They're going to want something that Mars made, and Mars made with Mars's own hands, whether it's sculpture, whether it's painting, and perhaps I think live music may be really in demand as well. So I think perhaps in the future it almost might be an artist haven, and hopefully artists have been essentially they've had to live the starving artist type of life, and I want to avoid that for them in the future.
Yeah, I'm also like excited about the idea of being able to like make more content like on my own, like because I kind of tend to like have a lot of ideas and try to like do everything myself. Like I like collaborating, but like I really like just being able to direct all elements of stuff. So like every time there's a tool that lets me do more than one part of a project and faster, like I can get those ideas out there more. And so that's a cool idea. Like I could maybe make like a whole movie by myself using like AI things, but like still have that like authentic feel to it. Just I can actually do it. That's so cool.
Absolutely. I'm excited for text to video. I know text to image is a thing, but essentially we're going to be moving very quickly to text to video, where you're just able to put in a prompt and get an entire television series or movie series in a matter of minutes. That's very exciting to me.
yeah, I think one of my main concerns is just like where you're getting the movies or like images and stuff like that. Like, it takes a long time to like learn the skill of art and to create your own style and like hours to paint a painting or something, and then the AI can just sort of lift that and copy and mimic it. And well, that is part what's really cool about it, and it allows like people who, for whatever reason, don't have those skills to like express themselves artistically, and that's honestly like amazing. And also like you can so quickly like even like I have artistic skills, but like I can just generate a ton of like really good ideas in image form like so quickly, and like it is great, but it's just like I don't know, yeah, I'm just can't quite explain it, but like just
I think I'm picking up what you're laying down. Chupacabra, welcome. How are you?
Doing solid. What's up, Rabbi? What's up, Logan? Of course, I was vibing with that. Here's my other thing. So I think like art is a trend. It's very always it's like you can apply things to audio, but if you're something something about AI or things happen now, everything is different. So each artist will form like their own art department because that kind of talent everything was reserved for people who could to come in and cut this up. So now I think AI art having your command a full production studio working like the things that I've just made today. I couldn't have done as a full-time equivalent. I couldn't have done 2 weeks because the things that I have done for these projects, I would be if I did them myself. It's not my second turn. So I would take it over. I would have to record the rest of it, and then I could edit it to make it artistic. And it's like my process because now I can just walk in and create a written business that is an enterprise that can make money and still have fun. It's my mantra today. Because it's like it's a shift versus what you're doing creatively can make a lot of traction sometimes. These tools work really well exactly. And I think it's coming towards the balance. And it's the recipe for me. I like artwork. I like putting in the truth into what I'm doing. And sometimes other things will be finished products. Other things will be work. And so sometimes the process of it is great. Other things is crap. And with this technology,
get lost in the weeds. The weeds is where I live.
what up, Queen? Cool things. Things I was going to are cool now. I just got loaded into notification when I was in the car. Here we go.
I'm just calling around.
So, stop playing.
Yeah, I have an AI. Rabbi brought something up a second ago about I asked him about like if you use ChatGPT or whatever, and I told him I was like trying to use like a little bit of money, maybe like doing different things that you can do with it. And he asked me like how you doing that? And I just told him I was just asking GPT that way easy to make money. That's pretty much how I'm doing it. But yeah, another way to do it is that would be kind of more beneficial for society. That I wanted to talk about was a prompt I wrote for actually kind of helping to like
serve kind of underprivileged, people in communities, right? Like what technologies are different ways of like that. I don't know what ways kind of like technologies kind of like develop or be used to like better serve like underprivileged people or like
It worked out really well for us. It was like the size of a closet, essentially. That's pretty cool. I've space to do something like that. I would take up a nice corner of his bedroom, a big ass bed, and then that in the corner, two dressers, and his fucking bed works it up to like 3 containers for each and all that shit. That's literally like a desk and 2 dressers and a king size bed. Everything's just shoved in there. You'd be like, he'll be at his computer, and I'm trying to squeeze by, and I'm like scooching between the bed and his chair. I'm like, fuck, man. I ain't got that big of a butt, but still, I've got that, got that stuff. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, I do have like enough room to walk around
I don't think it is.
and to get to things most anything. A lot of crap that needs to be cleaned up, but aside from that,
closet studio. I know a lot of people have raps and stuff like kids. And do like music videos and stuff. So I've talked to a lot of people studios and stuff like that. And I can go for a closet door.
oh yeah, fucking, my ex, they got their current YouTube channel, their show that they do, and their studio is his garage. Like they have in 3 different corners, they packed up, they made like 3 different little sets where they sit down and talk, whatever, like different backgrounds and stuff, they rotate. Yeah, it's a good channel. If you're a movie critic, I like it. No, it stands for That's the Fucking Trailer. I'm not entirely sure right now. We got a few Patreon members, and they're pretty big in the Jacksonville scenes. They've done a lot of stuff. They made their own feature film there, and they've do a lot of extra work, photography, directing. They help film on their YouTube channels.
will tell you, he absolutely despises even the word close reveal.
I liked it too. What did he have against it?
The point of view from the camera, like, and all the shakiness and stuff, like, he said it just, like, totally turns him off. He wants fame.
That's why I liked it.
Yeah, he doesn't like that style at all.
Hey, he's entitled to his opinion. I thought that was groundbreaking, like where you did not know what was going on essentially, and it was like you were living it out. I thought it was great. Exactly, Chupacabra, you nailed it.
Yeah, like there's that scary movie that did it also, where yeah, there's like some sort of outbreak in this building in the middle of the city, and they fucking quarantine the building, and these people are trapped in the building with whatever the fuck is in it. It's been forever since I've seen it, but it's from like a point of view kind of perspective. Somebody was recording it with a camcorder. It's fucking terrifying.
Both.
Consider innovative ways in which this technology can be utilized to create value and improve financial inclusivity for undeserved communities. That's a big difference, okay? Undeserved and underserved is a that's a big mistake. Okay, wow. Tell me you got that one. No, Derek, no.
We don't have their underserved. Damn it,
That has to be brought up. That has to be mentioned. That I was undeserved. I was like, man, look, did you mean to write this? Because it seems like it's saying the opposite of what you want, but it wasn't. It was teasing the opposite of what you want.
Oh man, you know what? I thought like I made a mistake, so I was like, oh shit, I need to fix this. I just deleted it.
No, you were right, Logan.
I have AI read all my stuff. Now there's no mistakes like that. Is that right? Yeah.
That's right.
Sounds so real.
I want you for Twitter is an AI.
That's the most monotone voice. Dan?
John.
What's that guy's name? He's got his TikTok is Daniel.
Pineapple Chris.
No, I think his name is Dan, but it's not Dan's hair.
That is him. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, okay.
White guy, blonde.
No, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Like, he's older. He's like a mechanic. He has like a beard or whatever.
Sure, he went to the hearing. Maybe his name look over there.
Bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing. What does he win? I'll take it. Yeah, he's got a monotone voice. Unfortunately, to my theory, he's on video a lot, so he cannot be AI. Who else?
That doesn't matter. It's 2023. It's okay to talk about.
That's true.
Yeah, you could be like a robot or have some sort of implanted screen. Some random dude on UFO Twitter. Yeah.
I have a theory about AI. When I say it, I noticed that no one inside of it. And I picked up on the fact that it's probably very insensitive. And I want to preface this theory by saying I understand that. I'm not trying to be insensitive. But I'm thinking outside the box here. Okay? And in my explorations of outside the box, I've come to suspect that maybe, just maybe, Stephen Hawking, like, wasn't doing anything. Wasn't the computer, like, is the AI, was there an AI driving that guy around, like, answering questions? Those are weird, right? But, like, that'll work.
One thing at a time, at least with Stephen Hawking. Have you seen some of the theories that there have been multiple Stephen Hawkings? Yeah, so essentially, like, there, if you look at him through the years, there are a lot of facial changes in him, and essentially, like, who came up with that fucking computer? Like, I'm sorry, that technology, I was, would see it in like the 90s, and it was like, we don't even really have that technology now. I don't know another person who has like a computer who talks for them. Have you guys seen anyone aside from Stephen Hawking who has ever had a computer talk for them? Agreed. So wouldn't you think that, like, I mean, I'm just skeptical of everything because I think we've been lied to so much. That somebody else with that disease would have that kind of computer built for them. It's just like we've never seen anything before nor since. I'm just very skeptical.
With that disease, okay, some miraculous thing was happening in the world. Just listen to him talk about physics. He was alive.
I agree. He didn't write that book either. I think he was almost like a celebrity, and then he went to Epstein's Island. Like, what the fuck is that? Absolutely, he went there many times. There are pictures of him there.
That's true. It's sucky because he could have, I feel like he could have gotten a bit more like legal situation. He's a smart guy, I guess. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. I think he was Source Ranch, not Epstein Island. Yeah, he should have done that. Stephen Hawking, some people, what do you guys think? Do you become so intellectual that you stop believing in God? Or is faith a low IQ thing? What do you guys think?
I can see you going both ways.
I mean, I don't think we have 10% conscious mind. We only have 10% connected to our brains. 90% is subconscious, so we overall should have more faith than thinking we know everything.
Albert Einstein believed in God, didn't he? Because he has a quote about God not rolling the dice with the universe. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, as far as I know, Einstein was a German Jew, right? Like, it was like escaped. So he's Austrian or something, Swiss. Yeah, so he probably was raised with faith and like the idea from, I think back then, the idea of science wasn't the antithetical to religion. I think that grew over the following decades. It's like how we're trying to move in science now. It's like more
The man that created the speech synthesizer, Dennis Klatt, I think is his name. He ended up losing his own voice, but he was like, he developed the Klatt talk, which is text to, which is talk to text. He did that also, so we all use the same technology that Stephen Hawking used.
that shit collapsed.
Kippy, flick you in the forehead.
Jeez, I think there is.
One thing that need to like insert Tesla is better than Einstein.
And we were talking about that.
Classically, isn't it Tesla versus Edison, not Einstein? While loving your pro-Russian and anti the Jew, that's super surprising. Darren, is that true? Don't clip that.
It's not like I'm down for like Tesla being better than Einstein or whatever, but it just get a random like I don't know why it had to be out there.
I guess it was kind of random, but I mean, you got a big group. Einstein and Edison are status quo. Tesla's like the rock star. Tesla's like the counterculture. Like he's the real hero. He's the underdog. Everyone else is kind of like, all right, we did that. We all know the most famous quiz of all time. We all know the haircut. We all get it. But Tesla's like underdog. In America, lives an underdog story. So we go over this dude was not celebrated in his times. Even the geniuses were celebrated in his time. Caesar celebrated Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla was like the mad genius. I mean, whole like shaking bridges to like destroy them or whatever. Like that's insane that he figured out stuff like that.
My name's Alex. Hi. I wasn't planning on saying anything, but you guys are killing me, so I had to jump in. The big difference between Tesla and Thomas Edison is that Thomas Edison invented alternating current and Tesla invented direct current. That's the major difference between the two, and they invented them at about the same time. The reason that we have alternating current and the reason that Edison
Indeed.
picked
Map Town's got it. I knew this was a theory.
Edison was good friends with J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan ran the country back then. So anyway, I just wanted to interject that great conversation. Yeah, thanks for hopping in. It's good to have the voices here, and it's good to have the insight. Like,
Wait, so
that classic. That's Taylor. It is. Sick. I didn't even see you in here. Okay, cool. Let's go for it. And then Benno's coming in too.
damn, you must really love me too.
It's just, when you're in the conversation, everyone knows. And I just didn't see you come in. So all of a sudden you were just in. I'm like,
But it's okay. There's nothing wrong with loving each other.
for sure.
Right. That's what I was about to say.
What is it? Tesla was an AC/DC, Edison was an Aerosmith. We just ripped the whole thing off. And he also invented time travel.
he had UFOs. He had UFO packs, so he was UFO.
Pirate life.
Direct current was Edison. Alternating current was Tesla. And then Edison did a smear campaign on Tesla by electrocuting elephants from live audiences and saying that it was the result of alternating current. Edison was kind of a prick. I think we all know that. I think we all know that. Everything you're trying to do is just smart. I'm dyslexic. I got it mixed up. But yeah, exactly. That's the story. Yeah, like the story too, right? I mean, I think that our culture brings these archetypes and we have these underdog stories and so on. But there's these things that don't get talked about. We don't talk about Faraday. We don't talk about Charles Brewing's diamonds. We don't talk about all these other people who do all this stuff about Christian Bergman. These are people who are in the same probably 60-year period window. And like they invented the electric world of the love today. Because you just invented on cars. And about the same time, Walt Disney was hanging out with those guys too. And they pretty much unveiled MK Ultra at the 1966 World's Fair. Wow, that's funny. I mean, I was looking at it. We were talking about time like stuff like Tesla's like, you know, Walt Disney. No, they hung out. I'm kind of telling them, I'm like, Bonnie Ever, 35. Oh, thinking about Robin. There's like still little Disney makes films about like educational films about rockets and shit. You're totally something you don't know is breaking news. Walt Disney was actually Hitler. He looked up to Hitler, so did Henry Ford, because Hitler invented the assembly line. And that's what Hitler hired Ford to build the first assembly line. Henry Ford invented the first assembly line in started making. Alex, I lie. Everyone, these are not facts. All right, these are everyone's got their own opinions here. So don't give it. You want to double check this. Alex, I do think you're learning a lot. All right, so far you've stated maybe 4 facts in a book. And I just want to say that, you know, that's great. That's a real statistic. You're wildly wrong. And I've been there. I done the same thing earlier. I read all by love it. The whole thing. I misread one word and then changed the context of the whole story. So
I think we've all been there. He's got what, 35 bong hits in him. We have Heather who has their hand raised. Go ahead, Heather.
Hold on. I just wanted to clarify. No, you got it wrong. Walt Disney didn't look up to Hitler. I mean, Walt Disney was literally Hitler. Literally Hitler.
that's where he was hiding. That's the whole thing. Right? I'm like, God, why do you think that? Hitler was an artist, right? He painted Disney true things.
Hitler.
The two correlations I can think of.
I
That's not stretching at all.
Disney is Hitler. Wasn't he kind of anti-Semitic? Yes. I think Disney was anti-Semitic, and I think that he was also a eugenicist. Did you guys ever watch the Family Guy sketch on Disney? It's so good. I could probably find it on YouTube.
You know, they're talking about Jews and Hitler and shit. Those like real brutal.
These are kind of facts diving into the myth that, like, I guess that, like, these things kind of seep their way into the culture, kind of as a back door, and it's interesting to talk about it. But they have to snuff out. No one enjoys anti-Semitism. It has to be snuffed out. It has to be kind of figured out. But the idea is stuff in our history, I think, is important because if it gets subdued, it doesn't work all the time. These guys just came to Operation Paperclip is a real thing. No one called them out. And then you go down to Argentina and you find out that there's a ton of, like, a lot of Nazis, like, they just, like, why were these, why was happening? How come in our culture, made to believe
it only bodes poorly for us because we have a Jew owning the space here, of course.
Because mine gets tricky, people and then crime to be something that they both. I'm just throwing it out there. It doesn't very true. If you want to jump to it,
Absolutely, Heather. Heather has been here so patiently. Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, so back to Stephen Hawking, we were talking about, the creator Dennis Platt, he had Hawking Views, was his own, and it was called Perfect Call. So, like, people who knew both of them, like, every time they would hear Hawkins, you know, like, they would just, like, hear, like, this rough kind of version of their best friend coming out of Hawkins. But he made a female version and a child version. So the child version was created based on his daughter. So apparently he spent hours and hours and hours using text to speech and recording his own voice to make the voice for Stephen Hawking. Just the whole Stephen Hawking.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. Brian.
I'm gonna ask a question real quick about Hitler. I'm not favoring him in any way, but he's half Jewish, half German. But for some reason, he wanted to kill all the Jewish people. My question is, do you guys maybe know what his point of view was? Why he wanted to, like, why did he want to kill all the Jews? We don't know.
I've heard a theory.
Go ahead, let's hear your theory.
It was because of, like, the economic situation in Germany at the time, and the anti-Semitism was already going on at that time. He just played upon the fears of it, and that's what helped rile up the people to get behind him.
So he wanted to kill people because they were
Yeah.
that's not like
Because of the social economic situation in Germany. He used the people's already existing fears that Jewish people were taking over the economy. And he played on those fears and got them to rise up. And he just became a mass murderer along the way.
I don't know. I'll say this real quick. If someone's gonna come against the people, it's probably not for something right now. It's probably something that's gonna happen hundreds of years from now. And like, who owns all the money right now? That's enough of that. No, okay, sorry.
I was just giving you what I've learned from the couple documentaries.
You're dropping this stuff on Saturday. Right, I feel like you're dropping historical fiction and also stereotypes. So it is what it is. Have your own opinion, live your life. But at the same time, as we're having two conversations, we're like, what is like triple conspiracy and fear of the underground? Let's just break it down. But, you know, to the best of our ability, and I think it's accurate for our conspiracy.
Yeah, so let's clarify. He was actually probably a Rothschild. So his father was Alois Hitler, who was allegedly the love child between Rothschild and Alois's mother, and perhaps a product of a rape. We don't know. Essentially, that would mean that he would be not necessarily considered Jewish, but perhaps certainly Rothschild. There's the theory as well that essentially he was able to make a deal to have a quick rise to power. He would be the world's boogeyman and then be able to live his retirement essentially in a lap of luxury in Argentina. Whether this is true or not, I'm not. Well, I mean, I've provided evidence in the past. I won't necessarily do it again, but that he did survive the bunker. And additionally, you know, if you are in those types of circles, there's the theory as well that the Rothschild family wanted to essentially get rid of major contingent of Ashkenazi Judaism within Germany, and essentially was able to take over the religion, and at least from the Ashkenazic part, so that now whenever you essentially attack a Jew on behalf, like basically, if you attack a Jew, you're not necessarily just attacking a Jew, but perhaps someone related to the Rothschilds. I know I can trace my lineage back. I know many others can as well. But I also know 271,000 people who I have some relation to died in the Holocaust as well. I do think there's a lot to it, though, the fact that it's not just serendipitous and it's not just coincidental that Hitler's, let's see here, it'd be his grandfather, I guess, would have perhaps been a Rothschild. And then essentially that family or our family takes over the world, and then Hitler essentially is able to escape to Argentina. I don't think these are all coincidences.
He was Argentina.
I'm just trying to figure out. So, like, was I don't know. So why did they want to kill those dudes in particular?
Great.
So they didn't want to kill just normal ones. They want to kill that particular.
Yes. So the theory is that most of them were part of the reform movement that had broken out after 1814, essentially. And essentially, in order to cleanse the bloodline, essentially, you could get rid of a large group of Jews and then essentially repopulate it with your offspring, as perhaps the Rothschild family has.
They didn't believe those particular Jews had the right bloodline or something.
So there's also some weird esoteric stuff to this whole stuff. I mean, there's been a long history to Germany throughout this time. I mean, it's no secret. If you look into the Germans, the propaganda piece, but at the height of Nazi Germany, I believe, was that there were two reasons on the time. There were described in the Bible, and there was the sons of God, and the sons of man. You know, that like, as far as I know, the Germans believed that they were the Aryan race, the descendants of God, the Nephilim, whatever you want to call them, and then everyone else was a descendant of the creatures who evolved from Earth nation. And so they just kind of were above ground. And when our bloodlines are changed, right? So we thought that actually they so this was like a we thought we look back there, probably there were another fear their Truman older Pennsylvania. It's very complicated thing. It's weird system. And we became now men. And this is, I think, kind of important too. We don't know like we don't figure like if we take a white and we just keep it because it's highly military situation, right? There was and he was adopted into a group who was already propagating his culture, and his whole idea, these ideas of eugenics, these ideas of the other, and these stuff kind of being seeded from their time. And now this stuff is, it's a culmination of like economic issues, like and we're just able to directly this anger, this confusion, and open the project and look at the things that we're watching. And like, hey, we do have a problem with them. And we look at the right thing. That isn't just like arguing. That's not weird crap in the brain. You're on the phone feeling yourself. You're like, the element of the other is only the perceived the other. And now they're dropping that. And now you can justify it. That's sympathy.
that's the extreme. That's the extreme. Right? When everyone like nonsense, the metric should be way lower. And people should recognize that ways are kind of romanticized and turning into like you don't have to have an all day depression stuff. You don't have to have all these different symptoms. These things are so subtle when they're in the grain of things.
Yeah, they played on patriotism as a way to get people to turn on them.
The opposite is what I know.
What's funny is I think I shared it at the top, but you can see how like how like history repeats itself so much. Like this picture up there, it's like it's an insane amount of people. Like it's just a sea of people for as far as you can see, and they like all supported Nazi Germany and all their mission, right? But then like 8 years later, this picture, when Soviet Union defeated Nazi Germany, they all denied supporting the Nazis. But it's gonna happen again, probably.
You see the symbology that they have, especially just in that photo of the crowd. Like it has like a religious connotation to it also. It's just a weird way and how they do things to like brainwash people and make them excited. It's just weird.
You're right, Heather.
It's a really good phrase to use. You're right. I'm not going to reinforce it 2 minutes, but it's basically the Nazi that you see, right? The Nazi like the really strong propaganda, really strong like marching, where all the people in the crowd are chanting, where you get real shots looking down like the crowd, like that. That's what all done is very much. When you see every single those have never been done. That's something that the Nazis had a lot of people created propaganda, and they did it for film. And these people pushed the art of film by creating, by yes, they really capitalize on this weird type of phenomenon. There was this chick named Jenny show. They were like creating this propaganda. So this is an interesting thing. Like Hitler created and set up all those right for the film. And these were basically big budget films. There was never really praise like that. It wasn't like a camera who happened to be there that day. All of the footage you've ever seen of all the banners and Hitler on the truck, and all that stuff was made to push, to prop him up and by himself. To prop him up. This is something that someone else brought up. I think the scholars have started, and I think is interesting, is that when the people who defeated him,
I got bruising. Oh, I got it.
Portray him in our fiction and our non-fiction. We use the images that he wanted us to use. I think there's something wrong with it. Like, we're actually using propaganda that he designed to make himself look larger. Like, we're co-opting that. We're saying, hey, yeah, he's larger. Like, look at all this stuff. But that was propaganda.
Well, and also to show that look at this super strong.
Also to make him look like a big evil, at this incredible sunset day. What's that annual quote? Never let a catastrophe go to waste, or whatever. I mean, Hitler rose to power the same way populists do, right? When people feel they're victims or they're being screwed over, of course they're gonna elect a strong man, and that's how society's gonna shift.
Well, to Tupa's point, either way he wins, because, like he said, we're showing that propaganda over and over again, good or bad. He wins because we're seeing it, and it exists still in our minds. We'll continue to as long as we continue to show it in whatever context we show it in. That's just kind of how these things linger. But it goes back to any news is good news for evil. Just to get their point of view and image across.
Yeah, it's everything. It's everything, right? Image is everything.
North Korea does it.
Absolutely.
Optics. It's optics. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first image you see, but the headline, right? The image, the picture, this is 1,000 words, right? It's like instantly you see what's going on. Your mind fills in all these gaps, go for it. I just think that it's interesting. I don't know what you've done about it. I just think that obviously you probably
Call Rafa. Yeah, call Rebecca. Oh, Rivka. Rivka. Yeah, call Tova. Call Daniel. Daniel. Call Ruth. Ruth, call Esther. Esther, call Rafa.
now like there's very little audio of you just speaking because he had like this I don't know, this like
Why?
sounded weak. It was only him shouting.
Because this fucking rabbi eats pasta like pussy, baby.
Someone took of him just talking regular. He sounded like a total Heather.
I bet. He's alive. I ain't gonna lie. When I think of him, I think of him cowering in his bunker with his wife. And then opting the fuck out because he can't man the fuck up and face what he did.
Like, Heather, check this out. Heather, check this out. There's evidence to suggest that. Sorry.
Are you talking about Walt Disney?
The school founded this bunker in 1945 was obviously people thought it was Hitler's, right? That's the idea. He died. That's what's up. They had a school. That's the story. But in 2009, researchers at the University of Connecticut did a forensic and found out that it was a woman. The school's a woman's school. So they died unless Hitler wasn't part of it. I doubt it. I mean, it's not Hitler. So we don't know how he died, where he died.
That I do. I have heard that. That is crazy. I don't know what to think about it, but personally, I would just like to think of him cowering, fearing, knowing that the Allied forces are about to destroy them, and that he's going down.
Before Hitler in World War II had an internment training and Operation High Jump.
Or, yeah, like he took off in his UFO and went to Antarctica.
Maybe World War II was silent.
So, Brian, what do you think about the Walt Disney Hitler thing? Any evidence there?
So I think NASA, Nazi,
It was funny.
You said NASA? You mixed up NASA and Nazi. Is that on purpose?
NASA soldiers formed NASA. Wernher von Braun was a Nazi. When he proved hundreds of years, go back to, I guess 50 or whatever. I don't know.
What did you even talk about? How did you go to NASA? I'm so confused.
We're already treading very sensitive ground. We talked about this. But no, not people get into our theories because people really cross the line, right? Like, we don't want to be. I don't know what you're saying. Someone just asked me that question. For sure. I'm just saying there was.
Yeah, no, with Walt Disney. Like, what do you think about Walt Disney being Hitler? I'm saying.
I don't know. That's theory. There's nothing I don't know any about that part. I'll say this about Walt Disney. Apparently, they say his head was frozen after he died, and then Disney made a movie called Frozen. That's kind of funny.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah, I don't think Hitler was Walt
Wait. Is it through Stanley? Is it through Stanley Dunham? Chupacabra. Is it through Stanley Dunham? That was his mom. Well, Obama's mom, her name was Stanley Ann Dunham. Well, how else is he going to be related? Chupacabra, you just made a statement that Obama was related to Hitler, and I'm wondering, was it through his dad, who would be Barack Obama Sr., or it would have to be through his mom, was Stanley Ann Dunham? Yes, we lived through the Obama administration. This was a big deal. There's that whole birther movement.
Why? Because you don't want to show a birth certificate. I was just asking Brian if I could see his birth certificate.
Yeah, Brian, you got the proof, right?
Yeah, how do I know you're a human and actually from here? Can I see your birth certificate? I want to make sure you're from here.
Right, I'll tell you one.
I want to make sure you're an American.
That's what is that?
American. Not really, I don't, actually. I was just being stupid because what you said was really good. What's your favorite number? 27.
69.
I'm 33.
Could I ask a question? No, you can't. But can you bring up a good point? Really dive in on this. Operation High Jump. Now, supposedly, right, it is a expedition with an Admiral Byrd to hunt down the missing Nazi tables and shit that were gone. And they figured out the Antarcticans. Regardless, Byrd, get the fuck down there. It seems cracking off, all right? And this is like literally right after World War II ends. World War II ends in 1945, and high jump is the 1946. So it makes sense. They're like, hey, we want to do paperwork, check this shit out. So he goes down there. Now, we don't really know factually what happened. But what we do know is that when he was back, he went on a TV show. So like, I mean, they went on a TV show. People had to figure out if he was like a liar or not about what he did. And he talked about this expedition over there, and he mentioned on record like different things like you should be really weary of the danger of the poles. Like there's, the enemy could be flying from pole to pole very quickly. This weird kind of cryptic stuff. That's real. But apparently his son found some journal. This I don't know if it's verified. Where they and I heard the same. Just those things about what happened just that way went down there. They found like actual like green land. They found dry land. It was kind of nice. Temperature was like 70 degrees. And these bodies of water came with this decimated their age group. I guess the bird came back. This deal was mislaid. So it's like a lot of missing things. Like kind of like,
I've heard another story about down there, but it doesn't like back up that story. It's a different area. But one area they went through it and ended up getting in trouble. They saw like this big ass hole at South Pole, and everything comes like an entrance to somewhere. I don't think they mentioned anything about race, water, and stuff.
Short lease. What relation did It was a colony.
It was a German colony?
Correct.
Oh, okay, then that makes sense.
Mangala. Mangalov.
They were magical in some way, and that's why I explained it. I think I definitely heard about it because there's tons of stuff out there involving like Hitler and the occult, Nazis and the occult, like tons of different documentaries and shows, and I'm pretty sure I've heard that in one of those. Are you talking about all the symbols of like the strings
that there would be this whole, this whole development, this repository, and like, there was a prophecy about like Rosicrucian esoteric stuff, very common in parts of Knights Templar and stuff, like the idea of Columbus as going to America. The reason why he was married to her was, I think, the daughter of a Knight Templar. It's like basically telling us this thing, okay, we believe in this prophecy, we believe in this, okay, we believe in this is going to all these myths about it. And this is not always true. Like, you know exactly where you're starting to get into it. People said that there was a picture, but just kind of, they put up yes, put up on, it's a Washington DC, that's where he had a top. And then we're just like, DC, Boston, like Philadelphia. This is true. A lot of these cities in the early on because of esoteric things like this things that are cold or whatever it would be hard to live, but Freemasonry is 100% is in the mix. And so, you have all the early monuments donated and created by the Freemasons. You have the architecture of the entire capital of our country, America, right? With these symbols, the owl, the straight lines, the pentagram, they're all within the Catholic. It's very strange. I think it's been a task, like, whatever, just happens to be that we don't realize that we're certainly here. I'm really proud of being Freemasons. I think that they celebrate for a long time. We have literal paintings of George Washington, the sash, the chain, the compass, and shit. Like, they celebrate it. But then, this is history. This is fact. Essentially, there was this Freemason that had been planned about some shit. This is back when people wear fucking pantyhose, and the judges wore those wigs. So this isn't like recent. But there was a guy who made it to a person or found out about Freemason rituals and blabbed it out. And other Freemasons killed him. People tried that guy. Like he was arrested. The people who killed this dude, they were arrested. And then they were tried. And during the trial, reportedly during the trial, the defendants made a gesture towards the judge. And the judge like nodded and smiled. And then they like lit off. And it turned out that the judge was also a Freeman Freemason. So this was one of the first like real scams. Like advertising Freemasons are like kind of this is the good. They're above the law. And so this was taken up for this huge campaign. And like it just, I mean, it's so being part of these secret societies. Stuff. Man, it's time where the history is washed out because of this scam problem. Society, secret society. So, the fact that like we just don't talk about it, but it's really big. Like, who was this actually?
It was a gift from French Freemasons to American ones. Who is it?
Yeah, like who's that?
Lady Liberty, from what I understood.
kind of darker.
It probably goes like ancient gods. They that what the thing was. Somewhere in the ancient aliens back in the sand that she's the goddess of something, prosperity, I think.
Sure, right. Or Babylon. What else?
That's the aliens, right.
At least
That's actually, it was like,
at, at least the Statue of Liberty is Libertas, the Roman goddess of liberty. If you weren't familiar, there were anti-Masonic political parties in the 19th century. I personally am a Mason. Everything I've heard here is generally been historically accurate.
okay, good. So I didn't check my notes, but that's what I know so far. Like, what's been coming from? Like, how clear is that thing? The history of prophecy of America, way back, started way back. The reason why people, the pilgrims were supposedly sort of from religious persecution. Was that religion? Religion? Not going to be allowed to practice it. Were they going to lose their religion? Now, why? How was it different than that of the place they left? When we talk about Patty America,
So that was they did it with Charles Gonzalez, that was that practice,
and the Christian Crusades. I think, like, they get down. I think that the Templars might have been part of these secret society religious groups that did that to fulfill its prophecies. That were to be there. The idea of like finding these areas from the continent to Argentina. And they did. History is the key.
They confess, like they put a piece of that guy's chest, and they stabbed rocks on the wood, and they say if you admit to being a demon, possessed or a witch or whatever, we'll take the rocks off. But because he refused to say that he was a witch, they just keep stacking the rocks on there day by day until he's no longer breathe, and if he dies, then he's obviously not skin. And yeah, funny way to go.
Yeah, you think you're long enough to be a villain. I think there's also right with Charles Roth. Okay, that's a real part of history. But isn't there some researchers like the idea that they're like Kremlin, they were having like they were all high on acid.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Right, like ergot and LSD is the crystal strength. Or some shit. So like there's this just fails that these psychological drugs are a byproduct of people being unknowingly dosed for long periods of time. The reality is plastic.
I also heard that a big part of the population there was Puritan, and anyone who didn't follow the beliefs was thought to be working with the devil.
What is a Puritan?
That's a Christian sect.
So I'll say this real quick. It was agnostic versus gnostic. If you believed anything outside of this realm, they would kill you. There's this film I was doing lately. There was this film called The Witch, right? Like they do. The Witch is pretty dumb. It's takes place back in that Europe. This family was outcasted from their village. It's like kind of a death sentence back then. And they're just kind of grinding. It's really true. Like, they have this goat. There's no witch out there. So they don't know. But it's very interesting. You create these photos. I recommend this. Because 2013, that sounds right. Alright, so Because you kind of in between technology, where you kind of can see on the future how things can be automated, but you already know what you can see. You might not see color, you might not see shape, you see nothing, you don't see anything. But there are kids that certain relative to me right now, we didn't really have the infrastructure to consider nature versus animals. Has been built. What's up, Rabbi? All right. A couple questions. All right. Change the topic. Talk about Jeffrey Epstein. So the remedy that he thinks is that he didn't commit suicide. Depends on color. But you know his wife, Teresa Maxwell.
They weren't married.
So she was in a but she was in a court case after he died, and they didn't record any of the taxes. They made a painting, and it was pretty much there's a big list of people that went to the Epstein's Island, but at the same time that court case was going down, they left with Will Smith and Tom Cruise from Dave Chappelle, and then a month later they had the Johnny Depp trial, and they recorded everything about that. And there's people on YouTube who had a couple dozen subscribers, and when that court case went down with Johnny Depp, they went, damn, look at the subscribers now. And every app was talking about that, pointing about that. Yeah, there's no truth in this direction. That's all I know. Recently, a lot of information got dropped, saying that Linda Epstein, and that's the day I'm not a fan of this person, but he entertained the arrest happening. He was arrested for trafficking. And they're like, oh, so all those accusations. If you looked up human trafficking at that time, you would not find anything about Epstein, but a lot of Epstein files got released. So there's this weird like filtering that went up that was like celebrity, to possibly keep from that being arrested at this point. Nobody is doubting any of all conspiracies related to Jeffrey Epstein. You're kind of like maybe a little glib because there's so much that this person was involved with that was bad and high up. People can make these things pointing to stuff like that. Like, it's all glib for me. Yeah.
I'm in agreement. All that was misdirection. They were diversions. Apparently, Maxwell has been detained since 2020. She's due to be released in 20. Sorry about that. I'm in agreement with you that all those trials were essentially misdirection or diversions. Maxwell has been detained since 2020, and she's due to be released in 2037. She's in Florida now, apparently.
Sounds like, right? How do you describe that feeling? That we know that something is amiss.
Powerless.
Right. It's fair. We have to watch it. Like unfold. We have to hope that it unfolds in a way of justice. And this is a clear-cut case. This isn't like where there's a lot of nuance or running black and white. That's unprecedented amount of gray area all of a sudden. There's no gray area, but it's black. If I'm a rabbi, right now, listeners, is definitely one of those black. I wonder if there's a language that really is contrasting the words of it. Because we're dealing with the type of
You're absolutely right. Dollars to Donuts. She gets out before 2037. Bryant, go ahead.
It's not flesh and blood, we're battling principalities and institutions, right? So it's like, where was that? Oh, sorry, that's it. I was going to say that.
Hashtag Bible thumper, hashtag ROTHSCHILD.
Wait, you said Bible thumper? You're just spreading. Why are we in 2023 right now? It was 0 AD, 0 BC. They rewrote the whole timeline in favor for Jesus. And Jesus taught love overall. Not religion is religion. Like, the Bible is the most scientific book known to man. Like, you're saying, put down the claws, Rabbi. Man,
Oh, no, it's actually very historically accurate.
the most
I don't know how well versed they are in history, Brian, so I'm going to assume that they don't know that.
I'm just saying, when 2023, they rewrote the whole timeline in favor of Jesus. So that's one of
I'm all down for, like, talking, theories and facts and stuff, but I don't know, at a certain point, like, it's just too much for me. You always need to cover.
ideas and theories are great. Start to say those facts becomes hard because the hope becomes an convenient argument. Because no one can add to or take away from it because you're saying this is what it is. And while if we talk about, maybe oppression or something, fraud for sure, but to talk about these things and their effects might be hard to engage with. So we might want to calm that down and draw the line. Have you heard of versus this is what it is? Kind of interested to hear what you've heard of.
Me too. You got some facts, brother. I would love to see them. And, like, love to see them, like, all those science facts in the Bible. Wow. Hey, I have a book, that I can send you. I'm not texting you, but anyway, I'll refer you to it. It has like thousands of artifacts, historical ones from the book. Check it out. That's what I thought I liked. Accurate. I didn't say science, I said historically accurate. But I think it's also scientific accurate. Ha ha ha. What's that? Funny. Why am I? I like being good. I hope you can bring that joy up to me. Anyway, Brian, so with your selfie stuff the other time, I've also heard that they changed the timeline or something, like they add years or something like that.
Absolutely. So that's, well, as I understand, there's the phantom time hypothesis, which essentially is there were three major leaders around the year 700 who wanted to align their, like, the coronations to the same timeline and make it the year 1000. So that's why the Dark Ages don't really have too many historical events that occur, and so many more occur during the medieval period. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but it is not discussed enough, and I feel that's a very important hypothesis, and it's known as phantom time hypothesis.
Brian,
So I forgot what I was trying to ask earlier, but I have a different question. Like, the Bible is already been rewritten. The story of Jesus has been already accounted. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying my point of view real quick. But the book of Enoch, they took it out of the Bible, but they talk about the Nephilim. I'll say this part real quick. They talk about the flood, right? I believe they say in the Bible, in the book of Enoch, the Nephilim came down here and intermarried with the women and made it and then, okay, so let me finish. And then if you actually look back in history, the Anunnaki, the Aztecs, they spliced our DNA and made us only 100 years. That's the flood. That's where our timeline starts. I don't believe in evolution or big bang theory, dinosaurs. I'll say that part real quick.
One having solved the flesh was defiled, and you're right, they were fucking with our DNA. And many other beings, they're fucking with animal DNA, plant DNA, all kind of DNA. They're just going haywire, and that's what happened. Yeah, the Book of Enoch and Jesus were very far apart, like good timelines. But yeah, we do got Fabris and we do got Dead Sea Scrolls, which say that Enoch should be in there. So.
No way.
Yeah. And Fabris in the New Testament too. It's like one of the youngest New Testaments. Within 100 years of Jesus' death, which is unheard of in historical document terms. That's really early. Usually manuscripts and stuff come out way after the person dies. Like Plato, for example. Plato's writings. What's that AI? They're trying to make like a centralized digital digital. Yeah, probably. And in 2030, you look at their agenda, you have access. Which is very cool. They're telling us what they're going to do. We're not going to do it's literally but yeah, that's something that
I'm sure maybe we, our each of our idea of new world order could be different, but my new world order is that people with PhDs are working at McDonald's.
I mean, that could be the case. I don't mind working at McDonald's, by the way. I already got like almost 3 trees growing.
George Bush is the president. He left 80 years ago. He said, New World Order was a sure that one world government on the back of the dollar bill under the pyramid. Says newest, first of all, that's Latin for New World Order. This is not
All right.
America has the United States president, and probably currency different nations have their own presidents, and other people of importance, right?
Apparently, Mark is going to have everybody think it's one line, so they're going to have a collective consciousness. Which is crazy. We're going to have a collective consciousness. They're all vibrating on the same frequency. And, try to sing or something of that nature. But really, they're just headed for peace and safety. Wherever they claim peace and safety, just know that total destruction is near. In the Bible, so whatever they're like peace and safety, just they don't do it. We're not being scammed.
I saw something on TikTok. This girl Go ahead.
No, I'm saying like Microsoft is already rolling out like this chip and because the mark the number of mark that was like it's that number, yeah, it's that number. And I actually found that like have that, you know, it's supposed to get biometric data and stuff of that nature. So my dad, they're like, yeah, if you bring in an idea about frequencies being used, which I was just reading about yesterday about how different frequencies can like change microtubules and that can change your consciousness and just a whole raft of information. Yeah, so the mark is going to be the right hand of the forehead and they are all going to think with one mind, like a mind consciousness.
So essentially, if just all you have to do is Google RFID 666 within every single barcode. If you add up the numbers in a certain way, every single one across the board, they add up to 66. I see this girl on. I saw. It's really a triangular number. It's so essentially, it's there are quite a few of these. So one is one, and then 3 is 1. Basically, you can take the 6 is 1, 10 is 1. Basically, if you arrange the numbers, I can post it as well. But basically, let's just take 10. If you take 4 and then 3 and then 2 and then 1, they create a triangle. And the same is true with 6. So 3, 2, 1. The same is true with 3. So 2 and 1. Essentially, 666 is one of these numbers with which you can do this. And it goes in ad infinitum, essentially forever. Additionally, though, what I thought was really interesting, I don't know if anybody else saw this. It was on Twitter, I believe. Within the last 2 weeks, there was a girl from, I believe, somewhere in Asia. I'm not exactly sure the country, but she got this chip in her hand, and she was so happy that she had gotten it, or it may have been in her forearm, between her palm and her forearm, and she was chipped, and it had all her medical data in it, and it basically had, it was her way of paying for things. And then within like 2 days, she posted another video stating that none of that stuff works anymore. Basically, whatever group was behind this shut it off, and she wasn't able to get in her apartment. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So it had 3 things in it that were major. It was connected to her money, her access to places, and then it had her medical information in it. Did anyone else happen to see this on Twitter or anywhere else?
I saw one today. I saw multiple videos of people like their chip. It's like in Amazon stores. And yeah, I saw that on some people videos. People have gotten it already, like got this chip. But yeah, I didn't see where they actually shut it off.
Yes, and she was crying about it, and she didn't know what to do.
Yeah, my idea is that if there was like an intricate
When he twisted his name too bad, he said, "Oh, good Jesus, you get his name again." And I fuck with that. That's what I'm calling.
currencies of like different galaxies. We're in the Milky Way galaxy, this is our solar system, right? But what about other galaxies? They would have their own different currency. Like if there was aliens in another galaxy, they would have a different currency, right? And so if it becomes intergalactic exchange, it'd be like exchanging the Earth's currency with this other galaxy currency, right? They probably have each planet is has the same currency. You know what I'm saying? Aliens exist, right? But
Why is aliens exist?
they would have their own currency.
Yes. There wasn't too much Star Wars. don't even have buttons. So how many do Right. Right. And I think that's as good as the goal. That's the goal. But they're more really good. Damn, that's not, have you heard about the Jesse Smalls like experience apparently whenever they went to the planet? It was like they started eating one of their friends or something. That's disgusting. What else was there? Every cartoon story is actually so great over their bodies. They get fucked away. Like they ate their things. So now why do you want to go to that? There's some creepy stuff. My ADD is kind of like it's not like tripwire. I can hear, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get away. Yeah, hands for sure.